Welcome to the first edition of the on-screen Healthy People FitRec newsletter. This week, I've got some massive news. Some of you may have seen the post I shared to Facebook and LinkedIn last week regarding an exchange I'd had with the New South Wales government. Essentially, I approached them to let them know that there are multiple registration groups operating within Australia. They have since got back to me. They will be making changes. Their quote was, "Thank you for bringing this issue to our attention. We will amend the relevant pages where reference is made to Fitness Australia to note that there are a number of industry bodies that represent the health and fitness industry in New South Wales." That's fantastic. But then things got even better. On Wednesday night, I got a call from the ACT government to let me know that FitRec was now recognised as a registration provider in the ACT. Now, this is really important because the ACT is the only place where registration is required to be considered qualified. So this is huge news. It's great news for us, and it's obviously great news for fitness professionals within the ACT. It means now that FitRec is officially a government recognised service. Contractor versus employee. This is something that comes up a lot in our industry, and for good reason. It's important that, if you're a professional or an employer, you understand, that you're operating in the right way, because doing the wrong thing can be very costly. This came up recently in a Facebook post, so I thought it worth sharing the ATO's decision-making tool. There's a link to it in the newsletter. In that same paragraph, you'll also find a link to an article by Scott McKenzie of Velocity Legal, who talks about contractor versus employee and why it matters. So I encourage you to have a look at that one as well. A little while ago, we shared a guest post by Steve Grant of Gym Hub. It was called Tiger Proof Your Business, and it talked about the difference between being the business and running the business. And he uses the example of Siegfried and Roy being the business and the Blue Man Group running a business. It's a great article, and it was added to recently by a comment from Jamie Hayes. He mentioned the importance of separating yourself from the business, and actually quotes from a book called The E-Myth, which is a great quote, and I thought it was worth sharing. Start your business with the strategic intent to sell the business. If you build a business around yourself that you can't sell, then you buy that business with your life. Our group exercise segment today from Marietta Mahoney talks about her experience at an international convention. Specifically, she spent some time at the International Aquatic and Fitness Convention. This is her 4th time attending, and apparently this time there were more Australians there than ever before. It's a great look at the value of looking further afield for our learning opportunities. If you are into aqua, I encourage you to check that group exercise post out. In her women's health and fitness section, Mish Wright talks about how we need more female presenters, but it's not enough to just offer these speaking engagements. We need a way to nurture them and train them into the role so that the message can be got across quite clearly. And to that end, as part of the Women's Health and Fitness Summit, Mish offers a thing called the Platform. And in that platform, they are training up-and-coming presenters to be who they want to be in front of large groups of people. If you're interested in being a presenter, then please check out the link in the newsletter. Presenter or otherwise, if you haven't already signed up for the Women's Health and Fitness Summit, I do encourage you to do so. There is also a link in the newsletter. Our featured jobs this week have a couple of regional roles. Wagga Wagga is looking for personal trainers. Also, Anytime in Mornington and 12 Round in Kew are also looking for casual trainers. The featured blog this week is one I wrote recently called 7 Ways That FitRec is Working for Fitness. FitRec was built on the back of Healthy People, our international recruitment service. So it's no coincidence that we made it so that it would provide as much utility as possible for industry employers, as much as it does support for industry professionals. I'll leave you with a quote that is Vincent van Gogh's take on the adage of eating the elephant one bite at a time. And that is that great things are done by a series of small things brought together. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Cheers.